The 8th man ever to be elected UN Secretary-General, attending his inauguration at the end of 2006. Ban Ki-moon replaced the once popular African-born two-term SG Kofi Annan, whose reputation towards the end had been dented by the Iraq oil for food scandal. It was Asia's turn for the job, and Ban, a former South Korean foreign minister, was selected with the full backing of Security Council heavyweights, the US and China. From the outset, he made it clear his approach to the job would be low-key.
My first priority will be to restore trust.
2.5 years on, and the SG is trying to build up confidence in his first 900-plus days in office, aware that there are those who think he's not quite up to the job.
It's just impossible. I need more political support. I need more resources support by the member state. Then judge my performance on the basis of that.
As Ban positions himself for a second run at high office, his professor at Harvard University says the SG's chief selling point is that below-the-radar approach.
The problem with that job is that you have soft power of attracting people. You don't have much hard power, so you are more secretary than general.
But many on the UN staff are not convinced Ban's the man for the top UN role in these troubled times. They point to the length of time it took him to get aid into Myanmar after Cyclone Nargis. They're critical of his decision to visit Myanmar this week with Aung San Suu Kyi on trial. They express amazement that he praised the Israeli government on the day he published only a summary of the UN's report into the Gaza war, and they highlight the UN's lack of clarity regarding civilian deaths at the end of Sri Lanka's war with the Tamil Tigers. There's also a feeling that Mr. Ban too often sides with the major powers.
It's one thing to say you're the hero of the small countries, but if you can't get the big powers to behave, to go along with things, then you're not going to be very effective.
But critics argue Ban fundamentally misunderstands the role of the SG in the new century and has failed to grow into the job.
Well, there's a difference between quiet diplomacy, a term that was invented by Dag Hammarskjöld, and non-existent diplomacy or silent diplomacy, which is what we have at present.
While Ban is applauded for his work talking up the risks of climate change, even his supporters recognize that he scores low in other vital areas of leadership.
Ask himself whether he's got the balance quite right on speaking up versus mediating. I think he might ask himself whether he could do a little bit more on managing the institution.
There's a sense that Ban doesn't defend the UN or stand up for its staff in the way that Kofi Annan used to do. Nonetheless, unless he gets a better offer from his native South Korea, Mr. Ban is expected to get his second term on the 38th floor here at UN headquarters, if only because he doesn't antagonize the permanent 5 members of the Security Council. John Terrett, Al Jazeera, at the United Nations in New York.